Hey guys, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my last update I'm doing about the yoga studio. So if you're new to my channel or you need a refresher about kind of my journey and what I've been going through. So I opened a yoga studio in 2020. I actually opened the youngest Black owned yoga studio in Wisconsin. At 22, and it was right before the pandemic hit. So I opened it in February, and then we had our grand opening February 29th. So I kind of thought it would be cool to do the grand opening and have our anniversaries kind of fall the last day of February, since you know the leap year comes every 4 years. So we did it on February 29th in 2020. And unfortunately in June of this year we had to close the studio because the owner, he's been hinting at he wants to sell the building, so he's not interested in having anybody rent the space anymore. So if you don't know about the space would have been perfect for my family. It was the upstairs, so it was a residential and a commercial space. The upstairs had a 2-bedroom upstairs, and most of the stuff had already been nicely renovated, and then the bottom half was the studio, which you guys have seen, which was immaculate. It was well done and renovated. And so I just wanted to get into some new information that I recently heard. This was actually last week, and I was just trying to find time to film this video. I'm actually filming this video at like 6 in the morning. So if you hear the sound machine going, this is the quietest room I can be in right now. So anyway, so there's a lot of sketchiness, and so I want to share my story so people can learn from what I've been going through. So I don't even know where to start. So I haven't actually been talking with the owner. Everything I've been discussing has been going through the landlord, and the landlord, he's just, I don't know, he has selective memory. So that's why I've been really trying to push myself to get back into my YouTube so I can start documenting these moments, these raw moments. Sometimes I just don't feel like I have the courage to film it, but I really feel like I need to, for reference points, when people start saying, well, I don't remember saying that, you know. So I guess one example is when I started to document whenever my landlord would visit, because there's been things that have been falling apart in this house that we're renting. And just, he hasn't been nice with how he's been doing stuff. So, you know, just documenting it also for my safety. But anyway, so back to the studio. I wrote a list just so I don't forget anything on my phone. But ever since the studio had to close, or was about to close, months before, I was looking at spaces on Craigslist, and Craigslist was actually how I found the studio to begin with. So I was looking at different spaces to possibly rent, and like I said, we were just able to be blessed and walk into this studio and not have to make any build anything, fix anything, nothing like that. The studio was recently renovated about 3 years ago, or 3 years prior to us renting in 2020, if I'm certain about what I remember reading in the description. So we toured some places. We had some kind of shady people, and I'm like, if you're shady on the tour, I'm not really interested in giving you my money for a long period of time. You know what I mean? So ran into some people I didn't really feel comfortable with, solid with bringing my studio over there. So eventually we just switched to being virtual. So all of our classes are virtual, and all of our appointments are online or on the phone. And our platform is like Zoom, so that's how we are able to host our classes. If you do want to support our studio, my studio is ashleecrazyyoga.com. That's the website, and you can sign up for classes. There's a shop to shop holistic goodies and things of that. But anyway, so I was looking on Craigslist, and it was just so weird because I saw the listing for the studio, and I'm going to get into numbers here. It was nice. Like, this is a once in a lifetime thing, I feel, to get a commercial space, because I had found it on Craigslist. I was I can't even talk. I was renting the space for $500, and we were doing like a sublease with these Mary Kay ladies who sold Mary Kay cosmetics and beauty products. and they were talking about they wanted to leave, so we took over their lease. So we were only having to pay $500, so half of the lease, half of the, and that actually included the utilities. And that was like an 18-month lease that they signed. We came in like halfway through. I think for like 10 months or something we were doing this. And then January of 2021 is when we officially signed the lease. And so I'll put an I, if I can remember, 5:30. I'll put an I when we did it. I was just so excited. I was like, whoa, we actually signed the lease for this entire building. Now this entire space is ours. So we went from paying $500 to $985 was the asking price. And that was an amazing price for that space, the updates and everything like that, because everything else I was seeing was already over $1,000, and you had to fix, most of the time you had to fix the bathroom. I don't know what y'all be doing in these commercial bathrooms, but why are they so nasty, you know? So blessed to be able to just walk into my old studio and not have to fix anything, you know, just growing into the space and just adding cute decor. So these spaces I was looking at, I was also having to budget or plan, how am I going to make this look nice so people actually want to go to the bathroom. People are, you know, you ever go to a space and like the bathroom's nasty and you're like, I'll just hold it until I get home. So, you know, but that's what I was looking at with these other spaces. I'm like, this ain't it. But it was crazy because I saw the space relisted for $1,350. And I'm like, why is this $300 more? My renewal, when I was talking to the landlord, and why I was I don't know, this is like my third time filming this video, but why I'm trying to push myself to document these moments, these encounters, because people in business, they get selective memory and they don't remember what they say. And so my renewal asking price was from $985 to $1,050 was going to be my renewal. And why I declined the renewal, because he was only the landlord was only going to give me a year to try to raise $50,000 to purchase the studio for around $227,000. So the $50,000 I was trying to raise would have been a down payment, because this is a commercial space. With commercial spaces and mortgages, you have to do 20% down. You can't do the 5% or whatever when it's a regular residential buy. So I had to put more money up front, and unfortunately we didn't hit the goal. And I would have been here another year until June, I guess, with the renewal price of $1,050, and we were gaining traction. We were getting more local residents wanting to come to our space, but I just didn't feel confident, because right now the GoFundMe is at like $7,000 to raise $50,000 in a year. I just didn't feel confident, and I didn't want to end up walking away from it just like I did in June of this year, you know? So it's hard. Like I've applied for over 50 grants to try to be approved, and it sucks when you are Black and you're a woman owned business and you're not even approved for the bare minimum of being a Black woman owned business. Who is behind the screen reviewing these grant applications? Should be fired, honestly, because like 50 grants, and we got one grant for $2,500, so $2,500 that helped cover utilities for like a month and do payroll for a few of our contractors. So that did not go far at all. You hear about people getting these $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 grants. It's crazy. I had such a huge vision for that space, but I just feel like I'm getting pushed in a different direction, and I'm just relying on my own faith, my own intuition at this, you know, this time. And I feel like I'm going to need to make several videos, but I'm trying to keep the focus on the studio. So studio was at $1,350, $300 more, and I'm reading the description and it's talking about they did more renovation. The space, guys, go back to my old videos of me in the studio. The space was immaculate. There was nothing that needed to be replaced besides the front steps. They gave the studio a fresh coat of paint, so it's like a brown looking studio now, and it was white and the roof was red, so to give you a visual. So now it's a brown studio, and they redid the steps. when I was planning to purchase the studio, I wanted to redo the steps with hopefully getting approved for a grant and having some money from our GoFundMe. And I wanted to actually add a wheelchair ramp because both of the entrances are stairs. So living or having a business in South Milwaukee, we were catering, we had an older population around us, and it was hard for some of our clients to get up the steps. So that was going to be my first step when we purchased the building, to add a wheelchair ramp. And every single one of those grants I put, I want to add a wheelchair ramp, and I want to make the necessary upgrades to our workout equipment so that it caters to everyone. I guess we can get into really quick of why I opened the studio. As a Black instructor, I got tired of teaching at these places and I wasn't respected. I wasn't being paid what I was worth. I've been teaching it's gonna be 7 years now. I've been teaching since I was 19, and I've shared videos about how the places have purposely not paid me my amount. They have purposely skimmed my checks, and I've had to go back, you know, to management and etc. Don't know why I feel congested right now. So I opened this space so that I could hire people. I could have jobs created for people starting at 25 and up. That was such a blessing itself. I felt so fulfilled to be able to give people the opportunity that I wasn't given. When I started teaching yoga, I was signed for $12, but the job was paying me $10. So like, they weren't paying me already off the bat what I was worth or what I had signed for. So I didn't want no shady, shicey stuff like that. So I wanted to have a safe space. You can teach how you want in my studio, you know, as long as it's, you know, not risque or anything like that. You know, I didn't want to have boundaries. One time I was at a studio, I was teaching and I was gonna sub for this studio, and they, after class, they gave me the teaching manual, the teacher training manual that they do at that studio, and I got trained somewhere else, and they're like, this is how you should have taught the class. I'm teaching a power yoga class. I didn't know that I had to, you know, follow this book that was never given to me previously, you know what I mean? So kind of painting you in a box. At my studio, I didn't want my contractors to feel like they were in a box. I wanted them to feel free and able to be creative in their work, because, you know, this is their art. Everybody, you know, I do art and crafts and stuff like that. That's my outlet. That's how I can express myself, and I also express myself with yoga. So you know what I mean? So that I didn't like feeling like I couldn't be creative in a space. I wanted to provide jobs, and I wanted it to feel creative, and I wanted there to be the correct equipment for clients to be able to practice and feel successful. So I was buying extra chairs, so when we were doing vinyasa classes and we had students that didn't have it was a struggle for them to get up and down and participate in an up and down kind of fast-paced class. So over the years, I cultivated a way to double teach, teaching for people sedentary, sitting in a chair, and teaching for people that are flowing up and down, you know what I mean? So that's how my goal, my root goal of my studio, and even as we continue doing stuff virtually, is to make yoga accessible and affordable in the community, make wellness accessible and affordable. So that was weird. He did all of these more upgrades that were very unnecessary listed in the Craigslist listing, and so that was to why the price was $300 more than what I was going to renew for. And I'm like, we left because you said you were going to sell this space. Why is it back listed? Oh, he changed his mind. And the place, guys, I told you we were saving up our GoFundMe to put $50,000 down to purchase the building for $227,000. And he's saying, well, now he's going to list it again for almost $300,000. It was like $290,000, he said. What upgrades needed to be made? I feel like these were unnecessary, and now the owner, who I've never spoken with directly, I feel like the owner's looking stupid. Man, I made all these upgrades. I gotta list it again because it's been rented since June, since when we left, you know what I mean? So now he's like, I feel like he's trying to make up his money for all of these lost months. I'm like, we literally could have stayed there. And I'm me talking to the landlord. He's like, I don't remember you guys, or like how he like worded it, I don't remember have you guys saying you wanted to stay. You guys just wanted to leave. I'm like, because you only gave us a year to try to raise $50,000. How does that sound? So that's why I'm trying to document these moments, and I feel like my camera may cut out, so this may be a split video. You can sign up at ashleecrazyyoga.com, and we do yoga and fitness classes throughout the week, but I also do appointments for personal training, nutritional guidance, Reiki, healing, and that's all virtual, so we can set up a time on Zoom. And that's also just still going with the mission of making my wellness accessible and affordable to people. I hated being in gyms and charging these high premiums that I couldn't dictate the price, you know what I mean, and these ridiculous results. So like there was a gym I taught at, for example, and it was $99 a week, and in 3 weeks you were guaranteed to lose like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. And I was like, this is not realistic with the training programs I'm trying to put together for these clients. I'm just sticking with online and online classes and services, and our events are online. You know, obviously we do our annual yoga at Bradford Beach. That's in July, but I'm gonna try to figure out how can I do maybe monthly or not bi-monthly, every other month. Maybe some in-person events, and I have friends that have venues, so we may do stuff like that. I have a yoga and chill kind of workshop coming up. It's going to be at a photography studio, and it's just going to be talking about wellness. There's going to be a little yoga class by me. I think we're still planning it. There's going to be probably like kombucha, and it's just going to be a little hangout chit chat thing. So I'm planning that for January for an in-person event. But if you're in Milwaukee or in the Milwaukee area and you're looking to do like in-person events, let me know. I guess that was it for my update. I feel like I was like so into the camera, but now I'm like so relaxed because I gotta wake up little dude in a sec. But I wanted to give you guys an update. It was just really weird. The studio is now relisted, and I was like, oh, what? And just after talking to the landlord, I actually called him and just kind of hearing how like unorganized these people sound. I don't want to rent from them. It sounded and I know like it's gonna be like, oh, every black person says that. Like it sounded cis, because we were there and you're only gonna give us a year to try to raise 50,000. And he said, this was the thing I really don't want to leave out, I'm looking for a long-term leaser. And he didn't, I thought I heard him. He's looking for a long-term leaser, and I wanted to re-sign a 3-year lease. I walked away because he was only offering me back in June a 1-year lease, and then it's now relisted. I feel like I just have a hunch that he wanted to get rid of the black people renting, because we always paid on time. Even when I was pregnant and I was gone for like 2 months, the rent was always left in the studio, or Carrie would walk it down. He would drive by and put the rent there for the landlord you know, to pick up. But I just have some weird speculations, and I feel like I'm being told I should not pursue this space anymore because I just put all of my heart into it, and just, I don't know, for things to get lost in translation, if you know that reference. That was a band funny anyway. And people not remembering the conversations of, yes, I want to continue to rent here. I want to rent here as long as I can to be able to afford to buy it. And you not remembering that, and literally me talk, you know. So I'm just walking away from it. I'm just going to continue with my online presence here. And I just appreciate you stuck around to watch this video, and you've been sticking around watching my YouTube videos in general, my ups and downs, and everything else in the middle I've been sharing. I try to be as transparent as I can on here, and it's just in the moment, all of this. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I have more crafting videos coming up, so if you're interested in my tufting journey, I got some more content I'm going to be making about that. And without further ado, I'll see you guys later. Bye.